Hello and welcome to this short session on the important site series. In today's session, we will be discussing all the environmental important sites that are in the state of Jharkhand. Okay. So when we discuss about the important ecological sites or important environmental sites, it includes the tiger reserves, it includes the elephant reserves that are in the state, the biosphere reserves, if any, the Ramsar wetland sites, the World Heritage sites. The World Heritage sites are of also three types, that is the natural plus cultural, or we can have the mixed sites. Then there are biodiversity heritage sites which are declared under the Biological Diversity Act of 2002. Then we have marine protected areas, national parks, wildlife sanctuaries, conservation reserves, community reserves, all declared under Wildlife Protection Act of 1972. So starting with the discussion of so in Jharkhand, we do not have a biosphere reserve. So in Jharkhand, we do not have a biosphere reserve. We do not have conservation reserves in Jharkhand. Community reserves are not there. Jharkhand is not a coastal state, so that is why there is no marine protected areas. Also, there are no biodiversity heritage sites. Okay. So we will be discussing about the tiger reserves, about the elephant reserves, the Ramsar wetland site. There is only one, and then the important national parks. So in total, there are only four very important ecological or environmental sites that we have to discuss in today's session. So starting with the first, that is the national park, the Betla National Park. Okay. So Betla National Park lies in the northwest region of the state of Jharkhand, and it is situated in the Latehar district of Jharkhand and lies in the Chota Nagpur plateau. Okay, so we know that Chota Nagpur Plateau forms the major part of the geography as well as the geology of the state of Jharkhand. And it is this Betla National Park, it also spreads over parts of the Palamu Tiger Reserve. That is the only tiger reserve in the state. Discussing the geographical features, the important geographical features. So all these important environmental sites, their geographical features are particularly important for the examination point of view, especially the rivers, the water bodies, any hills, and significantly speaking about any of the tribal groups or the tribal communities that are living in the area. So we know that it is a part of the Chota Nagpur Plateau and it has undulating terrain and the scattered hills. This entire Chota Nagpur Plateau, it is filled with it consists of undulating terrain as well as the scattered hills. And it is bounded by the Koel River and its tributaries. Now please note that there are two, Koel River refers to two rivers, that is the North Koel and the South Koel. Both these North Koel and South Koel, they emerge from this Betla National Park or the Palamu Tiger Reserve. So both of the rivers, they originate from the this national park, and the North Koel goes on and joins the Son River, which ultimately joins the Ganga River. Okay. South Koel, on the other hand, South Koel, it flows in the southern direction. That is, it enters the state of Odisha and it merges with the Shankh River. And the river thus formed after the merger of Shankh River and the South Koel River is our Brahmani River, which is an important river in the state of Odisha. Brahmani River ultimately falls in the Bay of Bengal. And along with this Koel River and its tributaries, there is a presence of waterfalls and hot springs like the Tataha hot spring. And the altitude ranges from 600 to 1100 meters above the sea level because it is located on the Chota Nagpur Plateau. Discussing the type of vegetation. So the type of vegetation here is the tropical dry deciduous forest and with certain patches of the moist deciduous forest. And the major tree species here includes the sal tree, which is also the state tree of the state of Jharkhand. Okay, sal tree is the state tree of Jharkhand. There are bamboo, mahua, palash, kendu, and teak. The wildlife, it is known for elephant population, the tiger population, leopard, sloth bear, gaur, chital, sambar, nilgai, wild boar, reptiles including the crocodiles in the rivers and the water bodies, and a rich bird life, including hornbills, peafowls, and parakeets. And it is also a part of Project Tiger since 1970s. That is the Palamu Tiger Reserve that lies along this Betla National Park, or the certain area of this Betla National Park covers the part of the Palamu Tiger Reserve also. Now, please note that the state animal of the state of Jharkhand is the elephant. Okay. So, state tree is the sal tree, and the state animal is the Indian elephant or Asian elephant. Then, discussing about the significance of this Betla National Park, it is one of the first national parks in India to become a tiger reserve under Project Tiger. So, when Project Tiger was launched, formally started in 1973, so it started with nine declaration of nine tiger reserves in the country, and Palamu Tiger Reserve was one of the first nine tiger reserves. It has a rich archaeological heritage because of the presence of Betla Fort. It is a 16th century fort which lies within the park. Now, this Fort, there are two forts, the new fort as well as the old fort, and these forts they were constructed by the Chero chiefs. So, Cheros are an important tribal group that lives in the state of Jharkhand. So, the Chero chiefs during the early Mughal period, they ordered the construction of this Betla fort. And the important tribal communities or the important tribal groups living in the Betla National Park are the Oraon, Mundas, the Cheros, and the Birjia. It is also important for ecological tourism and tribal livelihood. So this tribal groups or the tribal communities along with the rivers are extremely important for the examination. Then let's discuss about the Tiger Reserve, the Palamu Tiger Reserve in our continuity with the discussion of the Betla National Park. Now, the Palamu Tiger Reserve, it lies also in the northwest region of the state of Jharkhand, the same district, Latehar district, and it lies within the Chota Nagpur Plateau, and it encompasses the parts of the Betla National Park. So, Betla National Park, some of the parts of Betla National Park encompasses the Palamu Tiger Reserve, and the Palamu Tiger Reserve, some of its part encompasses the Betla Tiger Reserve. So, some part of this entire forest is shared between both the Betla National Park as well as the Palamu Tiger Reserve. Discussing about the geographical features, it is spread across the Satpahar and the Velta Hills. So the name of hills are important and lies between the Koel River and its tributaries like the Auranga River, the Budha River, and the North Koel. So North Koel ultimately we know it joins the Son River, and Son River ultimately joins the Ganga River. Okay, the area is approximately 1129 square kilometer with a very large core area that is 414 square kilometer and even larger buffer region. The terrain is undulating with dense forest, hills, valleys, and streams. Now, discussing about the type of vegetation. So the type of vegetation is almost similar to the Betla National Park. It is tropical and moist deciduous forest with mixed dry deciduous species. The important trees are the sal, bamboo, mahua, palash, kendu, and semal. And sal we know is the state tree of the Jharkhand, and it has rich undergrowth due to good rainfall and fertile soil. Please note that the soil is very fertile and it receives a good amount of rainfall because of the Chota Nagpur Plateau. Now, discussing about the wildlife, the flagship species here, it is the tiger because, but in the earlier times, tiger was an important dominant species over this region, but over a period of time, there has been less and less sightings of the tigers. Also, tiger population in this particular tiger reserve have been dwindling. Then there are other mammals, includes the elephant, which is the state animal of the Jharkhand, leopard, sloth bear, gaur, sambar, chetal, wild boar. Discussing about the reptiles, it includes the crocodiles, monitor lizards, and python. And the important birds includes the hornbill, peafowl, drongo, parakeets, and the various migratory birds. Discussing about the significance, as already discussed, it is among the first nine tiger reserves established under Project Tiger in 1973. And it is home to several of the tribal groups, including the Chero tribal group, which is historically significant because they have led to the construction of Betla Fort, Oran, Mundas, and Virgia. And it is also known for the historical Palamu forts inside the reserve. Now, this Palamu fort or the Betla fort are the same forts. Okay, these are the two names of the same set of forts. Okay. Then there are critical ecological zone for tiger conservation in the eastern part of the country. Then after the tiger reserve, let's discuss about the important elephant reserve in the state of Jharkhand. That is the Singhbhum Elephant Reserve. And it is located in the West Singhbhum district of Jharkhand and lies in the southern part of the Chota Nagpur Plateau. Okay. It includes part of the Saranda, the Porahat and the Kolhan forest divisions. The important geographical features of the Singhbhum Elephant Reserve is that it is characterized by undulating plain, hills, and dense forest cover. The major rivers here is the Koil River. So this is the South Koil River that we are talking about. The Karo, the Sanjai, along with the several seasonal streams. Okay, it is a very large elephant reserve with area around 13,440 square kilometer. And this entire region is also rich in iron ore deposits, especially in the Saranda forest. So there are also mining operations. Now the type of vegetation, it is dominated by the tropical moist deciduous forest, especially the sal trees. Okay, the state tree of the state of Jharkhand, which forms the largest natural sal forest in Asia. Okay, and in the Saranda forest. Then the other species includes the Mahua, Kendu, Asan, Jamun, and bamboo. And because it is a tropical moist deciduous forest, there are dense canopy with rich biodiversity. The wildlife in this region includes the Asian elephant, which is the flagship species. As the name suggests, this is an elephant reserve, so Asian elephant is the flagship species. And we know that it is also the state animal of the state of Jharkhand. And it is part of the elephant conservation project. The other species includes the leopard, sloth bear, gaur, chital, sambar, and wild dog. Discussing about the significance, so it is the first elephant reserve in India established in 2001 under the Project Elephant. A very important point to note that Singhbhum Elephant Reserve is the first declared elephant reserve in the country. It forms a vital corridor for elephant migration between the state of Jharkhand, Odisha, and Chhattisgarh. So we know that it below we here we have the state of Odisha and here we have the state of Chhattisgarh. Okay, so this Singhbhum Elephant Reserve it provides a critical elephant migration corridor between the movement of elephant population between the state of Jharkhand, between the state of Odisha and Chhattisgarh. The important tribal communities or the tribal groups that are inhabiting in this region includes the Ho group, the Mundas, and the Santhals. The Saranda forest, which is an important part of the reserve, holds socio-cultural and ecological importance. Okay, and already discussed, it has the largest natural sal forest in Asia, this Saranda forest, and it faces threat from the mining activities. So already discussed, there are iron ores, and but these iron ores they are a threat to the stability or the ecology of this Singhbhum Elephant Reserve. Then finally, we have the important Ramsar site, that is the Udhwa Lake Bird Sanctuary. Okay, so it is the only Ramsar site in the state of Jharkhand. Okay, and lies in the extreme northeast part of the state, and it is situated in the Sahibganj district of Jharkhand and lies close to the river Ganga near the Raj Mahal hills. And it is the only notified bird sanctuary in Jharkhand. So it is important. It becomes important because it is the only Ramsar site in the state and is the only notified bird sanctuary of the state. Then discussing about the geographical features, it comprises of two oxbow lakes, that is Katarov and the Barhali Lake. So oxbow lake, you know, with the course of a river, when the river meanders a lot, a part of the because of the intense meandering of the river, part of uh, the water reservoir just formed. A cutoff lake is formed that is known as the Oxbow Lake, and these are the two Oxbow lakes that have come up from the river Ganga. So these lakes are formed during the changing course of the Ganga river. Okay, so the river Ganga it has changed its course and it has left with these two oxbow lakes, and it is located at the confluence of wetland, riverine, and hilly terrain. It lies at an low elevation with seasonal variation in the water level. Now, discussing about the type of vegetation, the freshwater wetland ecosystem, it is a freshwater wetland ecosystem because the oxbow lakes they are formed from the river Ganga, which carries the fresh water. The aquatic vegetation here includes the water hyacinth, which is an invasive species, the lotus and the reeds. The surrounding areas of these lakes, they have the marshes, the grasslands, and the scattered trees. It has seasonal floodplains and enrich the soil and support diverse plant types. So it has a very rich or fertile soil. Okay, it is rich for the heavy faunal diversity. It has over 100 species of the birds have been recorded, including the migratory birds that are Siberian cranes, the bar-headed geese, the lesser whistling ducks, the open-billed stork, black ibis, the pond heron, egrets, and kingfisher. It also supports fish, amphibians, snakes, and the aquatic invertebrates. Then finally discussing about the significance of this Udva Lake Bird Sanctuary, 2 points have already been made that it is the only Ramsar site in the state of Jharkhand and it is the only notified bird sanctuary in the state. Okay, it was declared a Ramsar site in the year 2020, recognizing its international ecological importance, and it plays a critical role, a crucial role in supporting the migratory water birds in and maintaining the Ganga riverine wetland system. It supports the local livelihoods by fishing, by small scale agriculture, because it has a very fertile soil is there, and is important for ecotourism and bird conservation efforts. Now, the important tribal groups here are the Santhals and the Paharias. So these were the four important environmental important sites in the state of Jharkhand. One is the national park, one is the Petla National Park, then we have the Palamo Tiger Reserve, then the Singhbhum Elephant Reserve, and finally we have the Udva Lake Bird Sanctuary. Thank you.